Hey baby, this is Ro. Welcome to the back of the classroom. Go ahead and hit the like button to get your attendance taken for the day, and let's get right to it. Today we talking about Law 14 from the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Pose as a friend, work as a spy. Now, most people know knowledge is power, and knowing your rival is critical. So let's say you play sports, you got to study the opposition. Boxing, hockey, football, regardless of anything that you have a rival, you're competing against something, right? You can be selling food, merchandise, a service. You're not the only person selling it. So you got to outdo your competitors. Simple. So you can send somebody to get information from you, for you, from them. Might not quite work out the way you want it to. In which case, it's better if you're just doing it yourself, right? And one of the techniques that they try to get people to do is ask indirect questions, according to the book, to get people to reveal their weaknesses and intentions. But that's a lot like dating or just helping a friend out in a situation, right? Sometimes if you get straight to it, they tend to get a little defensive and they won't be able to give you the information you need. Or better yet, let's say you just feeling people out and you're just trying to get to know somebody. Same principle. So this law applies not so much. I mean, it works in a combative sense, but it also works in just a person to person. It doesn't have to be military. It doesn't have to be sports. It doesn't have to be anything other than getting to understand and know the person across from you or next to you or behind you or whatever, parents, friend, family, right? If you want to get to know somebody, it's better to come from a position of friendship and then work as a spy. So working as a spy is gathering intel, intelligence, information, so you can know what you're dealing with. It's that simple, right? I mean, the examples the book give, yes, they're military strategy, but let's look at our current day situation and understand a lot of us don't know how to work with people because we don't understand people, right? Everyone's quick to judge, everyone's quick to take their beliefs and impose it on other people and go, you're doing it wrong. You don't know them. You haven't taken the time to get to know them, and you're judging them based off of your own criteria, which isn't everyone's lifestyle. The things you've grown up with in life isn't how everybody else grew up, right? The things they learned aren't the things you learned. The things you learned aren't the things they're learned. You have to understand the people you come across could have things in common with you, but you have to understand how little those commonalities are compared to all the things that they've come across in life and, you know, experienced and learned along their way, right? Even the age difference means the generation, the times change. So although you can teach somebody what you know the same way you learned it, just because the generation and the times are so different, that sets a precedence. There's no way a child who grew up in the 80s and 90s is going to have the same mindset as somebody who was born in the 2000s. It's just not going to happen. The situations are different. The stress level amongst people are different. And those are the things you have to sort out when dealing with people and understand everybody's different. So give everybody a clean slate and start from the bottom and work your way up, right? Start as a friend. Like, why be combative? Why have a negative attitude toward anyone? If you really think about it, anyone who's ever come across to you in a negative way, the first thing you do is go into defense. You're not giving them no type of information. But it's always the quote unquote friend that stabs you in the back because you trusted them. You believed they had your best interest at heart and you opened up to them and gave them information that might have been detrimental to, let's say, your peace of mind because they've done something with the information you gave them, you trusted them with. that turned around and came up somewhere else that did more harm than good, or put you in a situation you wasn't prepared or ready to entertain, so you felt the way about that. In which case, you learn, certain things you don't want repeated, you don't say yourself. And unless you have somebody who's proven time and time again to keep your secrets secret, don't trust them. And it's not to say we're not trusting them to be a good friend. We're not trusting them to help you when you need help. We're saying in a very specific category, when it comes to something you don't want repeated, some people you can't tell certain things to. It's that simple. But on the flip side to it, you need to know information. You want to get to the bottom of things. And when you come off friendly, you smile, you try not to do so much of the talking. Try to let that person talk. If you're genuinely interested in somebody, you ask questions, right? And you don't just go straight to the whatever your goal is, right? You want the secret sauce formula. You don't just go, "Hey, how you doing? You're a nice person. Hey, what's the secret sauce formula?" They're not gonna give it to you. Like that was very, although direct is appreciated in some circles. I particularly love direct, but even that has an air of caution to it. So if you're coming in smooth, how you doing? My name is Rao. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Okay, cool. So give a little bit. It's my first day. Just settling in. How long you been here? What are is there anything I need to know? I don't want to fall behind or, be the slow one in the room. Crack a joke. It's okay to take on that because you're going to level up and exceed, but you just want to come off very humble. You never want to come off boasting and bragging like you can do this and you can do that. Let them set the standard for you so you can rise above their expectation. If there was ever a time you watched someone give you high reviews on something, you're holding them to that. And then when they don't meet your expectation of what they said they would do, you're disappointed. You're like, "Oh, that was trash. Like, I can't believe they did that. They could have did better." Where if somebody comes in and say something like, we're gonna see, we're gonna do our best, and we're gonna see what happens. The opposition look pretty strong out there, and we're just gonna do our best. When they go out there and they could do the same job they did when they boasted about what they was gonna do and you was disappointed, you don't feel so bad. You don't feel like they could have done better. Honestly, they told you they did their best. So come in as a friend, be humble, ask questions, let them fill them out, but start from a place of humility. We are the same, or we're still people at the end of the day. How can I get better? Show me some things, right? What do you like? What do you don't like? Okay. Offer them gifts. Things that, you don't have to be lavish, just something small. Hey, it's a cup of coffee. I thought about you. I was stopping and got me some hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee myself, but I heard you like this. Here you go. Warm up to the person. There's nothing wrong with that because what happens is you're opening up a door, you open up communication, and they're more willing to help you and assist you. How else are you going to get information to learn anything? But if you come in cocky and arrogant, nobody wants to help you. They're like, "Oh, you're a know-it-all. You think you think you have everything and you figured it out. So go ahead, show the world what you can do." And then when it doesn't work out, they're like, "Well, shouldn't have been so cocky." So walk in the door friendly, be humble. Not to say you're going to self-sacrifice, but you want to give a little bit of yourself just so the person can feel comfortable. Because when you can give something relatable to somebody, they can see something and you're like, "Oh, okay, I got you." And you're just relatable. And the more relatable you are, the more people are willing to help you because they can see some part of themselves in you. Now, as different as we all are, there are, again, those commonalities that people can identify with. You figure that out by asking them questions, but you're giving them something, just a little bit. And sometimes you can watch a person and see what they do, how they do it, and then you can determine what that commonality is and give it to them, or you can watch them interact with other people and pay attention. Hey, this person doesn't do that. Like this person likes coffee and they never get coffee brought to them. I bet you if I bring them coffee, it'll be something different. That'll stand out. Bring you some coffee. Oh wow, you brought me a cup. Thank you, I appreciate that. Not a problem. And just sit down and relax. And then if something happens and you ask for a question, it's not like they won't be willing to help you because again, you gave a little bit, which means they're happy to give you a little bit in return. But what did it really cost you? Now you have insight, you have knowledge, you have the ability to achieve and grow, and you have the information you needed in order to be more successful in whatever it is you wanted to do. Now it works differently in military tactics, but if you can get a hold of some footage or you have to go buy tickets for a game to watch the team you're going up against play so you can see what they can do, what they can't do, the type of calls they play, or you might want to try to find seats behind the coach. Like you got to think strategically. Hey, I gotta get close to the bench and see what they talking about, how they strategize, and then you go back to the fort and you be like, all right, guys, this is what I found out. And then based on how many people on a team, you can strategically place people in different positions so they can all get different perspectives. Come back to the fort and figure it out. Boxing, football, basketball, hockey, it don't matter what it is. You have enough people on your team, you can position everybody strategically to pay attention to what's going on and figure out how things are working, and then y'all can come back and figure it out. Come together, come up with a plan, and you can overcome any obstacle your opposition throws at you because you strategically watched and paid attention to what's going on. People are creatures of habit. Not many people are willing to switch it up. Pay attention to where people are at and what they do. The minute a new procedure or something comes into effect, watch everybody and see how much they don't like it. You be a different person and be like, you know what, I'm willing to change. I'll mix it up. Let's see how this works. And don't be afraid to do something different. The worst you could do is fail, and failing is just a lesson in life that teaches you what not to do next time. You can keep repeating it. You have to keep repeating that lesson. It takes you longer to achieve the goals that you want, but the quicker you learn it, the quicker you can go, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make that work. You now become wiser and you're willing to go ahead and go against the hardest parts of life, which is failure. But if you can be willing to accept those failures and learn from them, that's one thing you'll never do again. And then you keep learning these lessons. And no matter where you at and what you're doing, you keep pushing forward. Now, it's up to you. But I definitely suggest you read the book. It has a lot more details to it. I just speak to the modernizing of it, but it's very clear and simple to understand. Like, this book is powerful in its own rights. So if you made this far on the podcast, I appreciate you. Check out Rel's Locker. All the support definitely helps this platform grow. Better equipment. You see, before when I first started, I didn't have a green screen. Now I got a green screen. It's super helpful. Thank you and everybody who's made it this far on the podcast. Appreciate you. I love you. I'll holler at you later. Peace.